When they did add the dental to it, they divvied it up the same way they did as they are today.
So then why did the numbers change? Why was I paying more? And this is something on record. They can go back through the two previous.
Enjoy the video. Hit the like button.
You swear or affirm the testimony you provide this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You can both lower your hands. Let the record reflect all parties have been duly sworn in. Ms. Hill?
The state requests that the court take judicial notice of the petition for confirmation of non-agreed child support review order filed on October the 21st, 2025, concerning the child support review order confirmation of arrears and modification issued on October 16th, 2025.
Duly noted.
The state further requests that the court take judicial notice of the final order in suit for modification of support order and to confirm support arrearage signed on November the 17th of 2023.
This court will take judicial notice of all documents within the court's file, specifically the order to be modified. It's entitled Final Order in Suit for Modification of Support Order and to confirm support arrearage. This order was signed on or about November 17th, 2023.
The state calls Ms. Kirsty.
Okay.
Ms. Kirsty, what is your full name?
Doreen Latoya Kirsty.
Did you attend the child support review proceeding on October the 16th of 2025?
I did.
And did you agree with the order that was generated and issued on that date?
I agreed with everything except the dental and the health support.
And what is it about the dental and health insurance that you do not agree?
Because I supply it through my employer, and I was asking for premiums to be paid towards me.
How was the child support review order provides that your husband was supposed to pay the or provide the health insurance through TRICARE, is it correct?
Yes, that was what was said. I did not agree with that.
Okay. But what has changed since the child support review order and now?
I always provide supplementary insurance for my children because TRICARE is not accepted by many of the specialists. So I always keep an insurance additional to the TRICARE because dealing with TRICARE, getting referrals and getting them approved is a complete headache. So I've always had additional insurance on my children.
Okay. When did you acquire the current insurance that you have available for your children?
As of November of 2024.
Or do you have insurance available through your is the insurance that you're talking about available through your employer?
Correct.
And when did you start this job?
I've been working consecutively since November of 2024 and then transferred to this position November of last year.
And how much per month is the health insurance through your employer?
I sent over those documents. Let me get to the screenshot of it. So for the health insurance, I pay a total of $218.20 biweekly.
Okay. So
And then,
and how many people does that cover?
myself and the 5 children.
Okay. And for just you, is it $98.89?
For me, for self only is $93.89.
Okay. So for the 3 children before the court, would your monthly cost be $161.60?
Correct.
Okay. And how much is the dental insurance through your employer?
Dental insurance is $68.23 monthly.
And for just you, how much is that?
For myself would be $22.75 monthly.
And would that be then for the 3 children before the court, $27.29 per month?
Correct.
Are you asking that the court change the provisions of the child support review order to provide that you provide the health insurance?
Correct.
Do you have any other concerns or issues with the child support review order?
The only other thing I was asking was due to the delay of the last court case, I'm asking for sanctions to get reimbursed for the time missed from work.
And what amount are you asking?
So total would be $173.91.
Have you incurred unreimbursed dental charges for your children's orthodontics?
Yes,
And
back in the court. Yes, ma'am.
and how much per child was not covered by insurance?
So and Mr. Gardner is aware of this. They started braces.
Hold on one second. Ms. Hill, did you plead for unreimbursed healthcare expenses?
No, Your Honor. What the state was going to do is document that they exist so that we could ask the court to.
If it wasn't pled, I don't want to hear it. Please move on.
The state passes witness.
Mr. Gardner, do you have questions of this witness?
Yes, ma'am. So I've been paying.
Hold on. Do you have Ms. Kirsty is a witness. Do you have questions of this witness?
Yes.
Okay. Ask your first question.
Are we not going through TRICARE anymore? Is that your request here, Ms. Kirsty?
No, my request is I always keep additional insurance on the kids because TRICARE does not cover the specialty.
TRICARE, you're saying on record TRICARE doesn't cover the specialty needs of these children?
Correct.
Okay.
Any other questions, sir?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Hill?
The state calls Mr. Gardner. Okay. Mr. Gardner, were you present at the child support review proceeding on October the 16th of 2025?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you agree with the provisions of that order?
I did agree. I understand that I do owe back pay and I'm making more money now, and I'm 100% in agreement with that because that is the law. What I was informed of that day was that I should have been owed for any visits that I've made to the children, which I was not aware of previously, and also that I was paying more for their dental than I should have, which led me to believe I may have been paying more for their medical as well if they were being covered under TRICARE. And your office, who was going through that with me, made me aware of this, which ultimately would have led to me being more in arrears than what I actually owed. And that was my concern. That is why I wanted to see the court.
Do you agree with the current child support review order providing the cost of the medical and the dental support?
I'm sorry, can you explain that to me?
Do you agree? Yes. Do you agree with the proposed child support review order where Ms. Kirsty, where you are reimbursing Ms. Kirsty $0 for medical support?
Yes.
Do you agree with the child support review order where you are reimbursing Ms. Kirsty $11.24 a month for dental support?
Yes, I do agree with that.
And what is your concern with regard to visitation? You said visits with the children?
Yes. So, me, I guess being naive, understanding I have an 18-year-old daughter with this woman. Throughout the years, I've always and only have been the one to have to spend money going to see my children. I've never been met halfway. I've never had my children brought to me. And from my understanding from your office, those should have been credits towards my child support. Is that correct, or is that wrong information?
So basically, you're asking that the court award you credits from the child support arrears for the amounts that you paid for travel?
Yes, ma'am. And stay. Yes, ma'am.
And how much have you expended on travel that you request the court to give you credit for?
Honestly, ma'am, and Your Honor, that is kind of why I was in the process of trying to get a lawyer to figure out an exact number so I can come here better prepared today. Unfortunately, I don't have the income or funds to do that at this time. Nonetheless, it's still true. So I'm not sure where we're at right now. If I'm able to, we can proceed with this court hearing. If I'm able to go back, or in the future, once I do have all this documentation and what's needed of the court, if we'll be able to knock some of that down.
State passes a witness.
Ms. Kirsty, do you have questions of this witness?
Yes, I do. So for the time of you coming to visit the kids, of those times, how much time are you indicating that you've spent with the kids that you'd need credit for?
Well, it's not about the time. If I came through there for one day, for example, if I'm driving from California and I have to drive to El Paso, Texas, which is a 12-hour drive, easily over 500 miles, and then stay and have to pay for a place to stay there so I can see my kids, even if it's for 15 minutes. That's nonetheless the reason for the visit. Have you ever done that for me?
I can recall on numerous times, like when I've been to San Antonio, Arizona, to see you. So do I get reimbursed for those times as well?
I would be willing to do that. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Because that's what being even and fair is about.
Okay, so then we can look forward to moving. I don't know if it's going to be addressed in this case, but that's something that we can discuss
Absolutely.
later on, because
this isn't I owe you back pay. I owe the children back pay. This isn't about that. This was just merely me about finding information that I did not know prior about this. Okay, that's all it was about.
I guess my clarification is, if you're driving from Los Angeles,
wherever
the place that you chose to move to, and going to San Antonio on the way to see your other 3 children, and you stop to see mine for 3 hours, I should reimburse you for the whole weekend stay?
No, it's not about reimbursing me for the whole weekend. It's about, and this is where you're misunderstanding. It's not about you reimbursing me. This is my money that I work for. You get what I'm saying? Owed to my children, but it's not about you reimbursing me.
So you want credit for the 3 hours you spent with them?
If that's how you choose to see it, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Any other questions, ma'am?
Do you understand where, with the kids, with the dental and health, you're asking, you want credit back? When was the last time you provided dental or health insurance for the children?
All right, so let's go back to 2016 or 17 when they were under DEERS and under my care, and you petitioned the court to take them off of that so I could pay you more money monthly, when TRICARE at the time covered all things, even special care. So from that time till now, not that I'm saying that you have purposely did anything, I need to know where I was paying for the children or where I was paying for the family. For example, from 2023 to now, the order that we are on is under your husband's TRICARE. And it turns out I was paying for your entire family's dental when I should have been paying for my 3 children. That's all the information I'm trying to get. I'm not blaming you. This could have been an error with OAG. I just need to find where it went wrong and why, and get
I do believe back
readjusted.
then, When they did add the dental to it, they divvied it up the same way they did as they are today.
So then why did the numbers change? Why was I paying more? And this is something on record. They can go back through the two previous orders, the one that we have today and the one that we had to 2023, and see the difference. If it's the same, the numbers should not change. And that's just accounting. So again, this is nothing personal. This is me trying to figure out where the issue is. And it's not like it's a life changer, Shireen. It's probably maybe a couple thousand a year. Like it's not about trying to prevent or make myself look good or make you look bad. It's just, these are facts and I want to get to the bottom of it.
So it's merely the dental you're stating on.
Yeah, the medical, I don't believe
The state
they were wrong on.
this exchange back and forth that is not question and answer. It's in a narrative form.
Okay.
Sustained. Ms. Kirsty, do you have any other questions?
I guess for you all to clarify as to what he's indicating in regards to the dental.
Okay. Mr. Gardner, I do have a few questions. It seems that you're asking the court to deviate from the guidelines because of the travel that you have to pay for in order to exercise your visitation with the children. Am I understanding that part correctly?
Well, yes and no. So I was unaware that I was even owed a credit for that. And had I not known that knowledge, this is standard process. I owe X amount of money. This is how much I need to pay a month. Being made aware of that through Child Support Office, the OAG, I just wanted to know how I could go about receiving those credits for the times that I do go and visit my children.
Okay, so let's talk about moving forward. How often do you visit
Yes,
the children that are before the court today?
In El Paso, maybe once a year. I've seen my daughter in San Antonio more than a few times for volleyball tournaments. I've gone to Austin for volleyball tournaments. The boys not so much because they're not on a traveling team, which they will be on this year. So there's maybe 3 to 4.
Okay, and these are the children, and just so that I'm clear, you have children that are before the court, and do you have other children that reside in Texas as well?
I do.
Okay. So for the 3 children here, you said at least one time a year.
Yes.
Okay. And any other times for the children that are before the court today?
For my daughter, mainly for my daughter's volleyball tournaments that she has across Texas.
Okay, so for Jalen, she goes and travels with her team, and you've gone and visited her to. Okay, but
Yes,
you've
ma'am.
exercised your visitation, or are you just going to see her play?
And that's where things get, I guess, gray. Usually it's my dad or my daughter reaching out saying, "Hey, I'm in San Antonio. Are you going to be there this weekend?" Yes, I'll be there. Austin, the same thing. It's never something coordinated between myself and Shireen. Okay. Never.
So Jalen, is she still in high school?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is she going to graduate this May or next May?
She graduates June 10th.
Okay. Oh, June. Okay. So let's focus on your visitation when you're visiting. I know your children are active, at least that's what it seems like, in other
very
activities. So on the one time that you either you come and pick up the kiddos for spring break, or you come and pick up the kiddos for Christmas vacation or summer vacation, what's the cost that you incur in order to exercise your visitation with your children when you do make that cost?
Typically, it's in order for me to be mobile, I have to drive. So it's think the last couple of times I was living in Colorado, driving down from Colorado Springs, maybe 250, maybe $300 in gas, plus another $200 for the hotel. More recently, for example, for this Christmas, I drove down from Los Angeles because that's where I was living at the time. Obviously, it's a little bit more expensive. The whole idea was for me to move back to Texas, which I did, and I moved to San Antonio because I'm in between both of my children. My other children are in Brownsville, Texas. These live in El Paso. So ideally from here, it's 8 hours with a tank, two tanks of gas, plus the hotel and expenses.
Okay. So are you traveling to pick up your children and bring them back to San Antonio, or are you traveling to El Paso and staying in El Paso?
Usually I stay in El Paso usually. And sometimes that's just to the nature of them being too busy to be able to go out of town, or unfortunately we have a relationship where it's just, that it's best. It works best for them.
Okay. Any other information you feel I need to be made aware of before I make a ruling today?
No, ma'am. I just, in general, this is not a child support hearing, and I'm sorry that you had to see this because I agree I have to pay my monthly plus whatever is in arrears. I just didn't know that I was able to get a credit for certain things, and I guess my fear is that my arrears may have gotten too high, and I just wanted to see if there was some adjustment that could be made so I can at least focus on paying that down, the rest down.
Okay. Ms. Hill, anything from the state?
Yes, Your Honor, I have a follow-up question for Ms. Kirsty and then another for Ms. Gardner.
Okay.
Ms. Kirsty, you had stated that you would carry the insurance as supplemental. Are you requesting that the court make that insurance the primary insurance now?
It is the primary.
It is the primary. Oh,
Child care will always fall secondary to any other health insurance.
okay, thank you. That's all for Ms. Kirsty. Mr. Gardner, you have spoken about other children. How old are your other children that are not before the court?
11, 9, and 8.
Are they your biologicals?
Yes, they are. I also have 2 stepchildren.
So you have 6 biological children?
Yes, ma'am.
The state passes a witness.
Ms. Hill, in the calculations, I only see it as 30. Did you recalculate the support obligation to give them credit?
I am working on that as we speak, Judge.
Okay. So if I'm looking at the orders correctly, I see that the previous orders where child support was at $982, medical support was at 0, and dental support was at 70. Now your proposed order is to set child support, just the order without any sort of modifications or credits. The child support obligation at $1,381 with the respective step-down provisions, medical support at 0, and now a dental at $1,124. Am I looking at that correctly?
That is the proposed child support review order. And if the court makes changes to the insurance and the amount of the medical and dental support, I can take those into consideration in the calculations as well.
Well, the previous order had Ms. Kirsty maintain healthcare insurance. That was in the 2023 order, and it still remains the same in this proposed order.
Yes, Your Honor.
So the only difference that I'm looking at is the cost of the dental and the current support obligation.
Yes, Your Honor. And Ms. Kirsty is saying that to change the insurance from the TRICARE of 0 with the dental under TRICARE of 12, whatever it was, it would be $161 per month for the health and $10.50 a month for the dental.
Okay,
Instead
so
of the
you want to amend the proposed to modify the 0 for medical to now $162?
$161.60, and that is Ms. Kirsty's request.
Okay.
The state would, of course, generally ask that the child support review order be admitted as stated.
Okay. So what about the current support and all of the applicable credits that are owed to Mr. Gardner? Has that been given to him? Minus any deviation that the court may do.
It depends on the amount of the child support review order does not appear to have given him credit for 3 other children under the age of 18.
Okay.
Other than that, the calculations contained in there credit him for the $11.24 and then the 0 for medical.
Okay, so what would be the guideline amount for child support giving him the appropriate credit?
With the health insurance still at 0 and the dental insurance at $11.24 as in the child support review order. Actually, Judge, I do have a follow-up question for Mr. Gardner, if you do not mind, please.
Okay.
Your 3 biological children, do they reside in your household?
Yes, about 51% of the time.
Are you obligated to pay support for them?
I do take care of them, and whenever they're with their mother, I also pay support. Yes.
Are you under court order to pay support for them?
No, there's no need for that. They're our children. We take care of them.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. With credit for those 3 additional children, if the court so finds, the new child support amount would be $1,110 per month. And
I'm
that
sorry,
would
can
be
you repeat that? I couldn't hear you.
$1,110 per month. And if you do not mind, I will go through this quickly. 3 children before the court, with mom carrying health insurance at 0 for medical and $12.34 for dental. Credit for to dad with a taxable gross income of $5,546.67 as provided in the child support review order. Double checking that dollar figure, Honor. Yes, with the dental credit of $12.34 for 3 other children for whom not before the court. At 24%, the guideline calculated amount is $1,110.
Okay, step down. While you're figuring that out, Mr. Gardner, you indicated, if I understood correctly, that you do have TRICARE for all of your children, correct?
No, ma'am, no longer. That was I've been out of the military.
Okay. But there are no other health care benefits for your children, even though you're no longer an active military?
Um, not as of right now. I'm still in the process of going through my veterans benefits.
Okay.
So that's to be determined.
Understood. So right now you do not have health care insurance available for your children at a reasonable cost.
I can absolutely through my employer. Just previously, since they were being covered through DEERS, through TRICARE, and I believe the state says at the lowest cost to the non-custodial parent, we've been dealing that way.
Okay. Ms. Hill?
Okay, Your Honor, the first step down would be $878. I'm sorry, $879. The second step down would be $682.
Okay. Ms. Kirsty, is there anything else you would like to address the court at this time before I make any rulings?
I would like to ask clarification on the credit of the other 3 children because they were added to the last child support order.
Is that something you wanted to talk to Ms. Hill about?
Yes, clarification because she mentioned that he wasn't given credit. The 3 children have been added quite a while ago.
Since they were born.
I know, but every
I
time they do a modification, when they calculate guidelines, the person drafting the order should have included it. And when I was looking at the order, the proposed order, it didn't appear that Mr. Gardner received that multifamily credit as he was given in the previous order. So every time you come up for a new modification, and if you're going through the Attorney General's office, those are a series of questions about credits given to the obligor. And just looking at it, all I saw was 30%. I didn't see the modified percent that Mr. Gardner's entitled to. I hope that answers your question. I'm not sure if it did.
Yes, it does. And I do have one more question.
Sure.
In regards to the travel credit. So those times that are indicated with the travel, it comes out of my expenses to sending her. So the times that she's been to Austin, San Antonio, it was on my expense of sending her. And from my understanding, Mr. Gardner would go watch her play and return back to his house. There was no hotel cost involved with that. So I just want to get clarification on that as well as...
That's why I was asking whether or not he was exercising his visitation. In other words, or was he just going to visit or see his daughter play a game that any parent would do to go see their kids play anywhere. It's different than actually exercising your visitation.
Okay. I just want a clarification on that.
Okay. Anything else?
The health insurance, I've provided health insurance for the children for a very long time. It wasn't indicated on this last order. Is that what I heard?
No. It says that you were to maintain health care insurance. It was the reimbursement of the $0.
Okay.
Right. And I think the last order in 2023, if I looked at it correctly, you still maintain health care insurance for your children. It was at $0 reimbursement for Mr. Gardner to you, but for dental, you were to maintain dental insurance, but it was $70 for Mr. Gardner to reimburse you to maintain dental insurance for the children. The proposed order still has medical support at $0 reimbursement, but dental was, I believe, at $11.24, if I looked at it correctly.
So,
yes, Your Honor, and that would be through another source.
Another source. Okay. Any other questions, Ms. Kersey?
Just the medical portion of it, because I never agreed to that. Yes, I'm married to my husband, but ultimately it's between me and Mr. Gardner to take care of these children. And I've always had other health insurance on the kids because they do see doctors quite frequently, and TRICARE is a pain to deal with. So I've always provided. So I'm asking for the consideration for him to assist with the medical expenses when it comes to the children.
Agreed, but what's the premium for you to maintain health care insurance for your children?
Which is the amount that was just provided, the $161 a month.
Okay, so you pay a premium of $160. That, Ms. Hill, is that what you had verified?
$161.60 for health and $31.49 for dental.
And that's for the children that are before the court, prorated?
Yes, Your Honor, I will double check those other figures just a moment.
And this is through Ms. Kirsty's place of employment? Because that's going to be different language than just for her to maintain it from an outside source.
See.
And I think we lost Mr. Gardner. If we can go ahead and just put a pause on everything. Okay, we are back on the record in cause number 2008 AG 1013. Just as a reminder, everyone is still under oath. Ms. Hill, did we get any clarification with regards to current healthcare insurance and costs?
Yes, Your Honor, if the court orders that Ms. Kirsty provide health care through her employer at a cost of $161.60 per month, and dental at a cost of $27.29 a month. The guideline child support calculations for 3 children before the court and 3 other children under the age of 18 would be $1,068 for the 3 children, $845 as a first step down, and $656 as the third step down.
Okay. Before I make my ruling, again, Mr. Gardner, is there anything else you would like to address the court?
Yes, ma'am. If she's going to take over insurance, and I sorry, I just don't know. I'm capable of adding the children to my insurance. Is that an option, or is that?
Hold on a sec. What's the cost for you to maintain healthcare insurance for the 3 children?
So right now it's a family, employee plus family, and I cover medical, prescription, accident, dental, vision, group life, and legal plus telemedicine for $139.35 a month.
Okay, and that's through your employer?
Yes.
Okay, and Ms. Hill, can you calculate what it would be if Dad were to maintain healthcare insurance for the 3 children that are before the court?
How much did you say per month, Mr. Gardner?
It's $139.35.
And then that covers, like you said, medical and dental?
Yes, ma'am.
So these numbers are if mom maintains it. And then you'll give me the numbers if dad maintains healthcare insurance.
For Mr. Gardner to maintain health insurance with a credit of $139.35 per month, the initial child support obligation would be $1,073.
And the step down?
That would be $850. And the third step down would be $660.
660. Okay. Alrighty. This is going to be my ruling. You do have the right to appeal my decision. I'm not quite sure if I told you this in the beginning, but after I sign the order, whether you agree with it or not, whether you sign the order or not, once I sign the order, you have 3 days to appeal my decision to the to the district judge's court. So I am going to make my ruling. The entry for this order will be this Friday, but once I sign it, you will get notified by email. Based on the testimony and evidence before this court, I am going to approve and confirm the proposed order as it was submitted. However, beginning April 1st, actually, no, this is what I'm going to do. I am going to amend it. I believe I will place the order amended as dad maintaining healthcare insurance through his employer. And I will modify child support to be at $1,023, $800, and $610 respectively. That is deviating from the $173, $850, and $660. And court costs will be waived. Ms. Hill, does that give you all the information you need to amend the proposed order?
Your Honor, what are your findings for deviation?
It's $50 for a total of $600 annual for the travel for access and possession only, not for travel anywhere else.
And Your Honor, could we add in a provision that unreimbursed medical expenses are not taken into consideration in the judgments?
You can do that. You can make that as a finding that if you'd like. I mean, these are just child support obligations for unpaid and for medical support. It does not include any unreimbursed healthcare expenses, that may be owed.
Thank you, Judge.
Anything else?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Okay, then that concludes the hearing. Thank you.